properly. Drakken. Yeah, I want to offer my views, how to play it, and a second opinion on it. Okay, I've been putting this off a little while, so here we go. By Infograms. Drakken. An RPG adventure-like game for the Super Nintendo. And we'll go ahead and show you the character creation here. Now, it can be either a man or woman. Gender does not matter in the long run. You have to be at least one of these 4 classes. The way you choose them determines their order as far as left to right. So let's name her Hot. Yes! And it'll give you a set of stats there. 5 stats to place in your different attributes. Power, intelligence, agility, knowledge, and physique. You can probably guess what most of them are. Power being how hard you hit. Agility, of course, being how well you dodge attacks. And of course I'm going to name myself after the fighter. Who has not named themselves after a character? Intelligence being actually how well your character reacts in battle, how well their artificial intelligence works, how often they attack and use their spells properly. Knowledge being how powerful your spells are, very useful for the priestess and magician classes. Fortune and coins seem to be totally random and do change if you decide to re-roll your stats there. And of course we have to name the chicks, and you can bring up 3 different tables of numbers to put in your statistics there. And before I forget, of course, physique is how well your characters handle their armor and how often it'll break on you. And believe me, in this game, your armor will break a lot, especially your shields in battle, if you're facing stronger foes especially. And while we're finishing up the character creation, let me go ahead with the basics here. The graphics, they're not so great. It looks like this game was possibly imported from a computer as far as the graphics and the interface looks. The sound is actually kind of nice. This here, it's a little bit more upbeat than most of the music in the game. Usually it has some dark and deep sounds, enriching orchestra almost. The sound effects will kind of get irritating after a while. And here it just gives you a basic story, what to expect. As far as the story, don't expect to understand too much of it. A lot of it is quite cryptic, although it will provide clues in certain areas. Basically the story is there are 4 princes and 4 princesses of half dragon, half humans called Drakkens. The gods have given the humans a final chance to keep the Drakkens from destroying the universe, basically. And right off we go into battle here. Oh, cute. How a slime. That's the problem with the battle system, which I'll get more into depth later. Your characters sometimes wander around a little bit too much and don't go directly for their target like they should. You can control one character at a time to, how you say, force yourself to hit a lot more often. Of course, being able to switch characters during combat is good. And got a few items. Got a buckler that's one of the weakest shields. You probably won't be able to keep it very long. And let's go ahead with the controls here. It's nice that they give you a nice optional tutorial, but sometimes you just wish you could do half these commands with a simple button push rather than having to fight through a menu. A few notes to take: you can only save outside. And this is going to be another problem. The water kills you. And if you get in battle in the water, you're in deep trouble. Literally. So let's start over and try it again with a more serious tone. So let's go bug our first prince, the Earth Prince. I like how he dances there. I had already talked with him earlier. He's pretty upset that his sister, the Earth Princess, was captured. And now it's up to you to rescue her. After looting his castle, of course. Gotta get that armor. Light Cutlass and a Light Greave. Nice. So let's go ahead and equip it here on our fighter. You got your weapon, your upper armor, your lower armor, and of course your helmet there. Can't forget the shield. On the Magician and Priestess, instead of a helmet, they will equip a robe or a coat. And while I'm flipping through the armor equipment screen here, you can actually see their magic points, which are actually predetermined, same for every game. They increase the same with every level, doesn't matter what stats you put into them. Which, they give you a good supply for the Priestess, but the Magician will run out very quickly. You will see him flinging spells like crazy once you set his AI. Setting the AI being, of course, done by the sword icon here. So let's travel through this dungeon, have a little fun, shall we? Too bad I just entered, so Nan, what are you going to do about it? For some reason you can't fight him. And then he eventually just flies off screen like he doesn't even care about you. And of course you can use the door icon to quickly exit the castle. There's 8 castles. Some of them you can explore and some of them you can't. So let's go ahead and skip to the Wandering Merchant here. This is actually in a tavern here. Of course you can buy weapons, sell weapons, and see what you have currently in your statistics. File hit points, magic points. I've never bought those, don't even bother with them. Also along your paths you will see the old man, who is also the same icon for the Wandering Merchant, except in this one tavern here. And the weapons, armor, and items you get do change every single time you visit him, and they will increase in power as you progress throughout the game. Remember when I said your armor will break a lot in this game? Well, the opposite is true of the weapons. Your weapons will never break, and you will tend to sell a lot of weapons as your source of money called the Jade throughout the game. Now Thevi Staff, I paused on that one because it actually lets you open locked doors without a key. Now here's our map. You notice that tavern was actually hidden one between those two, the two huts there being the only place with a Wandering Merchant that you can find on your own. Otherwise he is a random encounter and seems to be few and far in between as you go throughout the game. So let's go ahead and explore a little bit. And you notice the sky gradually changing from day to night. That's a real cool feature about this game. It will very slowly change from day to evening to nightfall. And you really wish more games would have done this. This is probably a first at this time. Whoa, wait, what just happened? Oh, come on! Part 2 coming up soon.